Are we?
We're going. Yep. Hello and good evening for this Wednesday, September 13th, 2023. We have finished watching a double long episode 17 of Big Brother 25, the week 6 veto competition, POV episode. Actually, this was episode 18. I'm sorry. What am I doing? I picked the wrong banner. This is the week 6 POV episode 18 of the show. But we're just going to start here on Super Mater Brothers Podcasting, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch. I'm Dave Mater, joined with my brother Jeff Mater and co-host Jaemeel Robinson and Josh Foster, all with us to talk about this next development here as the so much to break down, guys, in this 2-hour episode. We got America and Corey showmance. They're finally kissing. Maybe that's the biggest story of all. We got people with punishments. They don't even know what they got in the Humiliverse. We got, Suri was going to be a backdoor plan, but Jared had to pretend to like Cameron, and Cameron told the whole plan, and this whole thing broke down. Guys, there is some stuff to talk about here, but I feel like we all kind of came into this podcast tonight saying this was a little longer than it needed to be, this episode.
A little.
Yeah. So, I think we might, if we're any low energy, I think you can attribute it to that.
Little.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
There's a lot, guys. Yeah. This episode could have been edited down to an hour.
Easily.
It
was mostly like punishments and
a longer competition.
Yeah, that was the majority of, and a longer competition again. This season is just nonstop.
Did you make you like the cast anymore?
Not really. I mean, I feel like only like 6 or 7 people were on the show tonight, considering how long the episode was. It was insane.
What, Jeff? You didn't like McColl's segment?
Yeah, or Blue was barely. She just talked about Jared.
Josh.
How about all those diary room sessions with Bowie Jane?
Yeah, half the cast wasn't even on the show tonight. It was a 2-hour episode. It was insane.
In a 2-hour episode, how could you not have a diary room session with like your entire cast? At least one.
It was weird. It was a weirdly edited episode. The whole season's been like that, though, to be honest. Like it's been strange the way they're telling the narrative, because like a lot of things are also not adding up, like from what we've heard from like a Jaemeel and in the spoilers, like this whole Izzy Suri love affair, it was like nauseating to watch,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, the whole episode made me, by the time I got to the end of the episode, I was like, I can't stand Izzy. I hope she goes home. I'm not a fan. I don't like her.
Totally agree with you, Jeff. I cannot stand her now.
Yeah, like her dynamic with Cameron, I think, like, okay, I don't like Cameron, and I tend to side with him in this feud between them, because I don't feel like he started it. Because I feel like she's just had a chip on her shoulder about Cameron from the moment she met him. I think purely based on where he's from.
I think it's not just where he's from. It's who he is as a person. Like they could not be more polar opposites. I thought it was hilarious tonight that they had to go shovel dirt together, as in piggy outfits.
Right.
It was like a metaphor for like what America is right now. Like it's two people from completely polar opposite points of view, but they're in the same boat, having to walk back and forth and carry dirt, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like Cameron kind of like was like, yeah, like, I don't like her as a player, but I like her as a person. And Izzy was trying to find out any way not to even listen to him talk, so it was kind of like, it just said everything about like their perspectives toward each other, and kind of like a little bit of a microcosm of how like America is right now too, to me.
Not America the player.
No, not America.
Just see America pop up. I was like,
country.
Me?
No, yeah.
Who, me? Okay, I had to pull this clip just before the show started because I thought it was too good to leave out.
I have been working on Corey a little bit, slowly molding him into the perfect boyfriend.
perfect boyfriend. Corey Wittenberger doesn't want to make out with America on the show because his mom is watching the feeds. He'll watch, he's okay with the spooning and whatever is going on under that covers. But, I think that this woman is, a fairly, I would say, a good-looking woman in America, basically saying, "Come on, Corey, I want you to be my boyfriend." And he's like, "No, I can't." Holding off. He's resisting her. If Sam, he'd be dying for the chance. Maybe that's why Sam's not here tonight in the chat. Perhaps he's can't take that America has settled down with Corey.
Many people have talked about being unable to resist the lure of the United States of America.
The United Wurdenbergers of America. We got Bean joining us in the live chat. 2 hours is a long time to watch Big Brother.
Yes.
Especially a veto episode. There's no evictions. There's no big moments. Really, this is all about whether there was a lot of Suri in this episode. A lot whether she beat the back door or not. People Jared trying to protect Suri. Izzy saying if she wins the veto, she's going to not use it. She can't risk Suri going home. It would just be a travesty.
I don't understand. I really do not understand why Izzy is so up Suri's ass. It makes zero sense to me because first of all, you're not going to the final two with her. It's going to be because she knows Jared's there, right? So why would you're second fiddle? And two, if you do go to the end with her, you're not going to beat her. So why would you I don't understand why she's so committed to her and she's it just feels like she's been starstruck since day one and just hasn't been phased out of that.
That's the problem with, that's the give and take of having a super fan, right? The super fan knows the game. Unfortunately, the super fan is still a fan and they don't realize that they're playing the game. They're with their idol or they're with this famous person, in the game, and they'll fall over themselves just so that they can be a part of their game.
Well, that's the thing that's annoying to me is that Suri has just been playing her like a fiddle and just
or a flute.
Like a flute, whatever. It's really obvious to watch. Even Suri's whole thing, I'm sure it's somewhat genuine, but this connection she has with Izzy and all this nonsense is so silly to me because I think she is just she's using that. She's a very savvy player and she knows how to it's not blurred with Suri. That's kind of what annoys me about Suri on Big Brother is that she's kind of, I feel lying to the audience sometimes about how she's playing the game in the house. And I wish
sometimes she's more straightforward.
She's straightforward with this Izzy stuff though, because
she was tears. Those are real tears.
Okay.
Well, she's got this woman who's completely and utterly devoted to her, and she just met her, and she was just
I don't know you.
Right?
Sure, if you want to give me $500,000, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'll shed a tear too.
Yeah,
that's kind of what it feels like to
and
me.
My son, you're willing to fall on your sword for me and Jared, under all circumstances. Then I think that there's got to be some gratitude in Suri.
She's also said in this game, "Oh, well, Matt's bringing me this power, so that's a real special thing." And then she's also said that about Felicia, and she's also said that, about other players in the game that whenever it comes up that they have power or some sort of ability to help her, they're all of a sudden the greatest person she's ever met in her whole life. And I just feel like it's a little disingenuous to the audience. That's how
I disagree, Jeff. I think that when you go and you're on your wonderful vacation shortly, and all the people who are working at that resort go and give you gifts and treats, you're going to be like, man, that's really awesome. Thank you, man. You're the best person I know. And then another person comes and gives you a steak. You're like, you know what? You're a solid man. Thank you. Here's a $2 tip. Due to the exchange, it's a lot of money for you. Thank you very much. Right? I feel like these people are serving Suri. And Serene Kind is giving them a little tip. It's like, thank you. You're a great person. I'm giving you the Suri patent, pat on the back. and great job, thumbs up. You're an okay dude, and shoot him on the way.
And then you're like, oh yes, sir. Like, you're the best ever. He's like, you watch out for that kid. He's going places.
Well, and I'm fine with all of that, but I just want Sari to kind of acknowledge that in the DR, because I feel like she's just coming from the point of view oh, I'm this, I'm a good person, so I'm getting this things, when really it's because she's a good player, and you know what I mean.
Do you think that CBS would allow that?
Well,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think it's also hard for even her to separate that potentially. How do you separate the player, the reality TV star, from the real person? Only really someone like Jared can do that, because he knows her, his entire life. So he knows the difference, if there is one. But, I don't know. I think that part of her, you want to believe this story that you're this whatever, you're this great icon of reality TV at the very least, right? So,
but she was able to do it tonight, where she was talking to Cameron in the HOH room, and it was just, they were literally just lying to each other the entire conversation.
And they both knew it.
And they both knew it, and she was honest with in the DR about that, I felt like. But then with this, for me, when it comes to this Izzy stuff or Felicia, she's just I feel like she beats around the bush a little bit about how she's playing in the house, because I do feel like it's whatever's good for Sari, and she's, but just own it, just say that, but instead I feel like she's making it more about, oh, this person's the greatest person and stuff. I don't know. I don't agree with it. Because I don't think that's reality.
I think that Izzy is akin to a dog, in the sense that the loyal beyond reproach, and they don't want Sari to disparage the dog, the loyal dog, the loyal servant, because of how bad it'll look. It's true. Right. Sari says fetch, and Izzy wags her tail, right? And just what do you want me to get? What do you want me to get, master? Right, kind of thing. And if gratitude isn't the thing that is portrayed, then people are going to be like, oh, Sari's so full of herself. It's no, well, she's playing the hand that she's dealt, which is her celebrity, and that she has people who are hopelessly devoted to her for whatever reason. Izzy should be in a power position, but she isn't for whatever reason. She's given up all power.
She's only abused that power. She doesn't use that power, but not since Big Brother 19 and Paul have I seen something quite like this. Because even though Sari hasn't played Big Brother before, she's still it's the same effect. It's the starstruck effect.
It's the Boston Rob effect that he had too, in Redemption Island,
every returning season he's ever been on.
No, but especially Redemption Island. Because Sari's the only celebrity or person on this season. It's very much like Boston Rob sees it, because Russell Hantz went on early, and then it was just Boston Rob with a bunch of newbies, and it's the same thing here with Sari, where there's some sort of an effect. Even people that I think aren't even fans. And I don't even think Izzy was the biggest Sari fan. She just knows who she is. And she happened to know who her son was. And she's been using that. But I don't think that Sari was Izzy's favorite player. I highly doubt it.
If Izzy hadn't had this information, would they have become as close as we saw here? Or, it seemingly is what's attested to? Or did the circumstances bring them together? And I think the other thought I keep wondering is, would this season be better? Would Sari be a better or more interesting Big Brother player without Jared present here? Because it's almost too much of an advantage. Sari already has an amazing advantage, and she's great at these games. And also she has to keep this secret with Jared, but she also has this ally that she can use.
I think what they should have done, and it would have blown their cover, and maybe they wouldn't have wanted this, but I think Jared and Sari should have been played as one player, like the brothers did in Canada.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been better. It would have been
only one vote.
Yeah, only one vote.
Only one can play in the veto.
Only one can play in veto or HOH or whatever. And I think that would have been more interesting. And and this whole like, I mean, nobody's gonna figure out that their mother's son. I don't think, unless
At this point, no.
No.
It's no,
it's not happening.
if it hasn't happened yet, it's never going.
America's
to, right?
not going to have an epiphany in like week 8 and go.
Well,
"Oh
Blue
my
kind
God."
of knows, but
Yes.
Blue's not telling, right? So,
Yeah, and Blue should really. I mean, she should use that knowledge.
well,
but-
she can hold on to it until she needs it, but
Right.
I think for now, because Jared says tonight, my mom is my final 2 by a long shot. Meeting Blue is not his final 2, of course. So
You know what's gonna end up?
They're not
you
even
know
a showmance.
aren't they?
Technically, they are. You know what's going to be funny? Blue's going to reveal the information, and who's going to be in the room? Izzy, Jared, Serene, and maybe and it'll probably one other person that knows at that point. And they're like, "Yeah, we know." And she's like, "Damn it, I held on too long."
Yeah, but if she told like, Corey, America, Bowie, Jane, that would be big. That would be the side of the house that would matter. As far
Like,
as
if
going
Corey
out.
found out, I feel like he's the only one who would do something with that information or would proactively try to. Like I don't know if the rest are like I don't know if America found out would that get her going or I don't know. Like
What would she do more than what she's doing now?
Well, say like we need nothing like for this week because you just have to let Cameron, put the targets onto that other side, whether that be Izzy and Felicia or Sari or whoever, like all basically Corey and America and some of the other people here in the middle, like Jag, need to do is kind of stay out of the fire, right? And stay, sort of stay because they were supposed to be the targets, but they're like, great, we're not the targets, and you're going after this power dynamic here in the house, even though no one likes Cameron, no one wants to seemingly work with Cameron, and he doesn't seem to quite understand.
But you let other people do your dirty work. And so if you're technically going to be against that side down the line and someone else wants to take a shot against them, you're like, hey, go ahead, reduce their numbers. I'm fine.
Right.
How do you not consider the idea, like if you're Jared, once you win the veto, how do I convince Cameron not to put Sari up instead? And then like, because anyone else they get up on the block, except maybe Blue,
Right. Well,
it is better for the Sari, Izzy, Felicia alliance. Like, and if Jared, like Cameron seems to trust Jared. So if you could be
but Jared hates Cameron.
No, I know, but Cameron seems to trust him. So if Jared could actually convince him, like, no, don't put Sari up or whatever, he couldn't trust it, I guess.
But Jared's not that good of a player.
Well, that's the whole point. But Sari is,
Yeah.
She can only puppet him so much.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's his own man. He's here to establish himself as one of the greatest ever.
But ultimately, the problem with it is anyone that you would suggest that would be a benefit to that side, Cameron's not going to put up. He's not going to put up America. He's not going to put up Jag. He's not going to put up Corey. He's not going to put up Bowie Jane.
Why not? Well, yeah, Bowie Jane. Well, that's the thing. But if Jared was a better player, a good player could.
No, I don't think so. I think Cameron is smart enough to recognize where not even necessarily who's with him. I think has a trouble with that. He, at the very least, knows who he's absolutely against, right? And those are his targets.
But he's not understanding that Jared. I guess can you blame him? He doesn't know about this Jared Sari connection. So therefore, but
Jared put him on the block.
True.
Like what more proof do you need?
So why is Cameron sucking up to Jared?
He needs somebody. He needs to rope somebody in.
Well, that's part of it.
It should be Jag, but Jag won't.
Well, that's it. Like it shouldn't be Jag. It should be America. It should be Corey. It should be Bowie Jane. Those are the only people I think Cameron can trust in the house.
Right. But he doesn't seem to want to work with them as much.
But so Bowie Jane definitely, but he doesn't trust that Bowie Jane could win anything. Yeah. So it's like, sure, I have her, but what does that mean?
Well, she's a number at the very least.
You could say that about Sari and Felicia too, though. You know what I mean? Like,
but
the house ain't exactly world beaters. It's also Matt is another player. If you could get Matt on your side, You know,
But Matt seems to be leaking all this information to Sari and Jared and company.
yes,
Right.
which
So
is
if you
what
want to
happened.
really mount a resistance to the Sari regime, to her presidency, as Cameron refers to it, I you have to sort of work across. But his conversation earlier in the episode with Jag is very cringy. You know, especially as we're intercutting to Jag's diary rooms, where he's like, "I don't trust this guy at all." Like, you know, I'm just telling him like we're good, and Jag is just talking. Cameron's talking down to Jag a lot in that conversation about the olive branch and this information can't go. But when he talks to like Jared, his demeanor is very, very different, right? So it's just there's got
there's-
I don't know
there's
what
Yeah,
some
because
sort
he sees Jared as somebody who is on the same level as him on a competition level, right?
Jag is just as good at the competition.
I don't think. Yeah, well, Matt would be second in my opinion before Jag, after Jared. Like Matt and
Right.
Jared, it'd be Matt, Jared, and Cameron are the top competitors right now.
in athletic stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
like
know,
this
like-
competition tonight, but that's what a lot of the jocks and these types of players value in alliance members. They don't want to align themselves with like a Bowie Jane who they don't think will win. You want to be aligned with the people who you think will have power. That's always that's the mindset.
Well, that's
Um,
smart, but you know, not every competition is rolling a ball up, up
It's
a
like
ramp.
skee ball.
Yeah, you're playing skee
Dizzy
ball.
skee ball.
And Jared almost lost this in the first round. If he only had 30 points. If Izzy could have rolled a ball to save her soul, she would.
Isn't she
You got
from
this.
New
You're the
York?
best. Nobody's better than you. That's exactly what I thought when I was on Survivor. It's like, come on. She got 15. Like it was bad.
What about Josh Duhamel?
Dumel.
That's how I say it.
So, okay, where do you know him from? And don't say the buddy games. It does not count.
Was he in Transformers?
I always mix him up with Timothy Olyphantastic.
Was he in Gone in 60 Seconds? This guy?
Okay, he was in Transformers.
He was in Transformers.
Was he on Justified? Or is that
No,
Timothy?
that's Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah, I always mix Timothy Oliphant with him.
I think Gone in 60 Seconds was Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah.
But this
Wait,
is the guy from Die Hard, right?
Well, what?
No, that's
No.
also
The Timothy.
Timothy
Jeez.
Oliphant.
He was
I
in
always
Jupiter's
do-
Legacy. Jupiter Legacy.
Jupiter's Legacy. Yeah, I've watched
Yes.
that. They canceled it after one season.
Yes, he was also in Las Vegas.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
You know why? You know why you didn't have a reaction to Las Vegas? Because nobody watches Las Vegas. Even Josh Duhamel doesn't watch Las Vegas.
You know what
That's
I
a
know
little
him-
nod to Aziza. Sorry, folks. You're welcome.
Do you know what I know him from the best? I used to play Call of Duty, and he was in the Call of Duty World War II. Like they did like a World War II, and he was like he played like in the video game, like it was his likeness or whatever, and he voiced it and everything.
Yeah.
So
He was
that
also married to Fergie for a bit.
Foster, what did you think of this competition tonight with the spinning chair and the whole like having to do the skee ball? Were you impressed?
You Muskoka chair?
Have you seen the movie Buddy Games?
no, I haven't.
Was the trumpet inspiring for you, or the bugle that Josh Duhamel played?
It honestly didn't even seem like he was even inspired by it. He didn't seem like he did like two good blows, and then he was just like and just like it
I heard
honestly-
that was
he didn't seem very engaged, to be quite honest. I didn't think that he was that.
He didn't come down with like the minions in like the lower levels. He just stayed up on his balcony there, right? And
Yeah, he I don't know, he didn't seem like he seemed like a paid actor host. Like he didn't seem like he genuinely wanted to be.
this is
Right.
promotional, dude. This is all promotional.
I was in Jupiter Rising, like come on.
I'm just looking at his IMDb. He has not been in really anything good. As far as like a solid movie or anything, they're all B movies, C movies.
Jeff, that's why you know the difference between him and Timothy Elephant, because Timothy Elephant is in something good,
Yeah.
right? And if you can't get him and you're in a lower quality production, you get Josh Duhamel.
Josh Duhamel.
He's
All right.
discount Timothy Oliphant.
He's
Yes.
he's a poor man's Timothy Oliphant. Is
Yes.
Timothy Oliphantastic.
If you were making The Girl Next Door 2, right, and like you're doing like a Wesley Snipes to Mike Epps downgrade, like in Major League, you get Josh Duhamel.
Was it Mike Epps or Omar Epps?
You know what? You're right. It's Omar Epps. You couldn't even get Mike Epps.
Omar Epps replaced Wesley Snipes in Major League 2, right?
Yes,
Right.
correct.
And Omar Epps was on House, right? Same
Yes.
guy.
That same Omar.
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay. There's only one Omar Epps, I think.
There's Omar Epps and Mike Epps. It's two different.
Are they brothers?
Yes, they are.
Okay. All right, guys, in this competition tonight, in this buddy games, did anyone feel for Felicia even before her collapse, like that this was not going to go her way? That I was like,
I was worried for her health, to be honest. Like even before this
she's
started,
63 years old.
I don't know how did she get so overheated? I don't understand that.
It was hot out there.
Well,
she
she put on
And the padding.
Yeah, the padding. What she's like, I think it's because her like legs are covered, and you know it's not good airflow.
I like when Suri like put the ice in her bra later on. That was a good move.
She knows.
Suri.
She knows.
Yeah.
But she had no chance of keeping up in this competition. Like I thought even before it started, I go, well, like you know,
She made it pretty far.
I don't like
considering.
these vetoes. I don't like I actually liked like the idea of this competition, but like I just don't like vetoes that are like the most athletic people are most likely gonna win this or whatever. Like you know,
I was worried she was gonna get seriously hurt.
Yeah, she was face planted right there.
Right.
And
let's watch her and she gets to like round 2. If I can get to that. Cameron was not good at this competition. Where did she go out here?
She should have literally gotten injured because if she did, like, she could have had Christmas vibes.
Oh, this is where she collapses here. Okay, hold on.
She had been done for a while, right?
No, she has another round here.
Oh, the other round, yeah.
Yeah, this is her last round, and they really spin her here pretty good. Look at that.
Yeah.
Could they not get Dr. Will? I guess he's like, I'm not coming back.
You'd rather have Dr. Will than Josh Duhamel?
Probably. I think he's better now.
I was like, this is not good. You know, it's on the way back.
Look at how much she's sweating.
She gets this one shot off here, and
She was done.
yeah, this is yeah. But she fought the whole way. Good for her. And then I think it's here where she's like, yeah, clap. So 47 reference here on Big Brother.
Lord, stop. Stop.
Piece of time.
Don't crowd her, guys. Remember how Blue was like, don't crowd her too much. And then everyone crowds her. And then Josh Duhamel's like, you were right down there. Oh, yeah,
Yeah, there you go. She knows it. She knows.
Yeah.
What did they put down her shirt there?
Ice.
Ice pack.
Ice pack.
Yeah.
Look at Josh Duhamel and his concern.
What do they not have like on Survivor? They have like medical staff. Do they not have that on Big Brother?
Yeah,
like,
they do.
They have McCall. They don't have to worry about it.
But we never actually see like a doctor come out in Big Brother too often, like like they do in Survivor, where the doctors can be on camera and so. And
Dr. Mike.
So, doctor, what's happening here? What what you doing?
Probst loves it. Could we get it where Julie Chen comes out there? So did she love one another enough? What happened?
Yeah,
She starts faith healing.
Yeah, faith healing. You are healed.
She's like, get them to hold a snake or something, and see if it bites them.
Starts talking in tongues.
Yeah, just speaking in tongues.
Yeah. But you have McCall there, and you also have an army vet in Cameron there, so they're fine.
Right, and Blue is trained in not crowding. And crowd control, perhaps. Guys, this competition, which I thought at least kind of was visually interesting with all the colors and the spinning, it ultimately, the ending of it is kind of very strange. We knew it was going to be a Yankee swap when we talked on Sunday in our spoiler section, but this was not what I was expecting, how Jared was going to end up the winner of this veto tonight, as he goes out third to last, yet he wins it because Jag decides he'd rather have $5,000, and
which he's right. Jag made the right play.
Well, he went on and on about how he doesn't trust Cameron, and but he knew he was going to be either him or Matt who was got the veto. So I think he was feeling somewhat confident that he could avoid the block here.
And did Matt take the European vacation?
No, that ended up with Cameron.
With Cameron. And what did
Cameron-
Matt get? Matt got the punishment with Josh
Matt
Duhamel.
got the punishment, but he didn't understand. He thought he was going to get to hang out with Josh Duhamel for a whole week. I was like, and even I was fooled when Josh Duhamel read that, because I was like, he's going to move in for a whole week, Josh Duhamel, the poor man's Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah, but
Like,
he should have
that's-
known better, because it's always like the second last prize is always a punishment.
I
You
had
know?
forgotten that myself, and so
I never do. I never forget. You never want you like the last prize is a bust so that you take the veto.
right.
It's always that case.
But Josh was like he you know, or sorry, not Josh. Matt really was like he wants to be a Duhamel maniac.
What
You
is
know?
he? He just probably doesn't even know Josh Duhamel is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody does. Like, he probably thought he was Timothy Oliphant. You know?
I loved you justified. Wrong guy. Wrong guy.
Yeah.
Wrong guy. And then he just leaves. He's like, I thought we were gonna hang out.
You
And
were
Corey's
great and
like-
go.
Right. Okay, what did you think about Izzy's choice to get Cameron as the co-punishment? Because normally you pick a friend to kind of suffer with you,
No, you don't.
an
You
adversary.
you want someone to suffer.
Well, like I can't remember another time where somebody got a punishment and then chose their adversary to suffer in the punishment with them.
Yeah, that was really stupid. Like, I mean, like her whole DR too was like, "Oh yeah, this shows you," and like Cameron was like, "Whatever," like like is, like
He,
I don't think it
he
bothered
didn't,
him all
he
that
didn't
much.
have to, because the thing, you usually pick a friend because he didn't have to try her to help her finish that. He could have not helped at
Yeah.
all, probably. He has to wear the suit, but if he didn't help fill the dirt pile up,
Like, he stayed up all night with her, helped her, talked to her, and she was still like, "Screw this guy," like there was no. Yeah,
well, he did put her on the block, so there's going to
No,
be some
fair enough.
animosity
fair
no matter
enough.
what.
I
but
can
yeah.
understand gameplay animosity, but like the personal animosity, I think is like a bit much.
Well, it's been
I
there
just-
since before she was nominated, right? But now it's exploded. So it's
It just makes it easier when you don't like the person that you're going against.
right. Well, okay. In contrast, Felicia gets the kayak punishment or whatever, up Shit's Creek without a paddle, as she would say. But she chooses Suri to do this with, which ultimately does matter too, because Jared has to not use the veto on Felicia, who Felicia believes Jared's one of her closest allies, because Suri is the backdoor target, which is true, but what she doesn't really know is that Jared's true loyalty lies to Suri, not to her. So so that comes
Yeah.
into play.
Yeah,
But
and
they-
like, how are you not figuring that out? Like, how are you not like suspicious of all of that, or like, like, I don't get it. Like,
That Felicia hasn't figured it out.
well, I think she probably has, but she just didn't really voice it very well on the show. How do you not figure that out? Like, so it was pretty obvious, like that whole scene with them sitting on the beds with the kayak, where it's like, yeah, oh yeah, and like Suri's figuring it out for Jared, and was like, but because Felicia doesn't have the same level of falling on a grenade for Suri that Izzy does.
No.
So so I think it was kind of hilarious that Jared did have to actually say that in front of both of them. But like, yeah, like she should have figured that out. I thought, where it's like, okay, all right, the final two with me and Jared's probably not there,
Right.
So
And what about the other punishment, which was for Matt? But it wasn't that bad of a punishment where he had to be with Josh Duhamel stand-in all the time.
it's like a funny punishment, right? Like,
Yeah.
I guess like you have to take pictures, but that's a good punishment compared to.
Well, you got nothing
The
else to do in
dirt.
the house, right? You might as well take pictures and and do
Spot me.
spot me, Josh. Yeah, it was kind of funny. It helped fill this 2 hours. All right.
Yeah, the dirt one was the worst. I mean, you didn't want to get, especially having to wear the piggies and stuff. That would suck.
Yeah, they talked about there was a lot of juiciness going on in here, but you had to wake up in the middle of the night and do a picture here. Some of these pictures are funny with these Polaroids. One's cool, although I think they could be better photographed. And then we have the final scene here between Jared. Okay, Jared and Cameron in the talking here. about the plan. I think this is when the plan is revealed, because that's what Jared's so excited about. He wins the veto because he, kind of didn't win the competition. But he wins the Yankee swap, if you will. And so, and this is perfect for Cameron. And this is where I can't get behind Cameron, because he doesn't understand. He's not reading the Jared situation. That's his one blind spot here. And it's completely like, I could root for this guy even a little bit if he wasn't such a dope. And Jared's clearly playing him. He doesn't see it.
Yeah, and it's pretty obvious to see, like, it's from a viewer's perspective. But maybe like it's like what Josh said, like he doesn't have anybody in the house, and he needs to kind of throw a bone somewhere, because he's literally doesn't trust anybody, So he was trying to work with someone and just picked the wrong person, because that person won power, So
right. But again, put him on the block. Yeah. So he's like, "Hey, I want to put Suri up." He's like, "Oh, it makes sense, man." Is Jared a good actor? Is he fooling? No.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
So, yeah. Cameron so wants to, but his conversations with Jag, in contrast, are so weird.
Well, that is what's weird, because like he's talking to Suri and he knows she's lying. Like he was able to see right through Suri, but with Jared, he was just kind of like, I don't know, maybe, So that was the part that was kind of made no sense, to me.
Because he's hoping against hope that that he's gonna be true. He's gonna be true to me at the end of the day.
Yeah,
hopefully. And just also in this hour, there was just all these punishments going on at once. So there was the piggies, and there was Matt with his, Josh Duhamel thingy, and Miko was finding it crazy, guys. That's like her whole, like, when they finally do have a Miko segment in the diary room, it's like she's like, this other house guests are nuts.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of fun, like that moment where it's like, every punishment was going on at once. The stinkometer, the gas mask, the dirt, the Duhamel,
there was the gas
kayak.
mask.
It was a lot going on for sure.
I thought they still had to announce when they went to the bathroom. Oh, they still had the stinkometer at least.
Yeah, the kick in the butt for the Duhamel as well. Like,
Yeah.
So they had everything going on.
They had everything going on.
Do pictures. Like, it was again, didn't need 2 hours of it, but it was maybe not.
Didn't need 2 hours of it, indeed. I agree.
Minutes, maybe.
Some people watch the live feeds they'll watch like 12 hours of live feeds in a day. This is like a mild in comparison, right? Oh, there they are. What a family. What a crew, huh? What a season.
Yeah.
From the Humiliverse. I don't know. This theme is kind of working for me. At least it's mixing it up in an interesting way every 4 weeks.
Hey, they haven't given it. It's week 6 and they haven't given up on it. That's pretty strong.
That's commitment. Like, normally these themes never last. Get ready for a takeover, but that like lasted only 2 weeks, right? Maybe one. When that season. Okay. We talked about it a little, but the whole Corey and America showmance becoming so they got to push their boundaries. America is digging Corey. The word in
she's very forward. Very forward. Like kudos to like Corey. That's some willpower. Like, geez.
He's like, I don't know, America. I don't know if I have time for all this girlfriend stuff. Again, he's like, I guess I'll do it.
I love it.
I'm dumb is kind of how the segment ends. I'm stupid. Yeah, I'm a guy. So
I'm dumb.
I don't know. This showman's I
wouldn't not very flattering. It's not very like. How does that gonna make her feel?
Well, I don't know. She thought he was a secret billionaire at one point, Jeff. So, or billionaire even was talked about. So yeah, and then the final thing of the piggy challenge with their, they rolled around in the mud together, guys.
How quaint.
Again, I just kept thinking about how divided that country is, and they were representations of
the blue states and the red states.
Yeah,
in the mud together.
In the mud. Really, you know what? You're in the same big Tub
pile
of mud.
of
You know, at the end of the
poo.
day, you're the same. You have the same lot in life, so you shouldn't hate each other so much. You know,
Right.
You're-
It's
Yeah.
all your land.
Left or right, you're still waddling in the mud together for other people's entertainment.
That's
Yep.
the metaphor of all of this.
That's
Right.
that's where my brain went. I don't know about you guys.
Well, I think that there's something fitting to all that. Yeah, absolutely. Do you think like they like each other any more than they did?
No.
I think Cameron doesn't hate Izzy. I think Izzy hates Cameron.
Yeah.
And-
I think
and
Izzy has put it in her head, regardless of how Cameron acts, because we see it every year where someone does a lot of stuff and people are like, oh, this person is a terrible person. And then outside the house, they're still friends. We saw it with Big D, right? And Cameron is going to like Izzy. They're going to hang out. They're going to be together. And they're like, oh, it's just a game. And Izzy's going to turn around 360. All the stuff that she said about him during the course of the game was like, oh, yeah, Cameron's a okay dude. I met him. I spent time with his daughter. Like, we all know what's going to happen. We all know.
But in the house, they can't get to that point. They've been together for 6 weeks.
Because he is in the path of Sari, and Izzy can't stand that.
True. All right. And
Sri is the Jesus of
Yeah.
reality TV.
well, okay. And speaking of which, let's the moment here and when Felicia realized, oh, this is. I thought I was just going to get to kayak around and wear a costume of Sari, and now this is actually hurting my game because
And her back.
I can't go talk to Jared without Sari present right now. So I can't try to convince Jared, even though it wouldn't work anyway, to take her down. She's like,
Just be glad that she didn't pick Cameron, because then she would have no chance.
True, right, but yeah. So that doesn't work, and ultimately, at the end of this, it's 2 hours. Yeah. Oh my god. And like just this moment here when we got these two here on the block together in their respective costumes, I think kind of did really sort of fit the whole episode in a lot of ways. The floaters, the floater and the piggy. I don't know.
Yeah, I got that. Or the life floaters
Life vest.
life vest. I
Right.
actually got that reference because I remember that was one of the seasons one of the very first seasons I watched back in the day.
Sari references Rachel Riley, basically saying, "I've met Rachel Riley." You know,
Yeah,
enough that
heroes of reality, most likely.
right? And so yeah, she's like, "Hey, floater." So she, I don't know how much she's watched the show, but she knows some of the Big Brother legends like Rachel because she's just met them at CBS functions, I'm sure, and other shows. Yeah. So ultimately, Jared does not use the veto, guys. Any surprises there?
None.
None. Took us 2 hours to get to that, huh?
Well, that's how I felt at the end of the episode was Felicia's face.
This is great. It took us 2 hours, right? Okay.
Took us 2 hours to get to that point. Okay. Well, yeah. So Felicia and Izzy going into tomorrow's vote. What? Okay. Before we even get to spoilers, because I don't really know who is going to be voted out yet. But Jeff, what would you like to see happen? Izzy get voted out because you're not a fan of her, right? So
Yeah, I think this undying love that Izzy has for Sari is nauseating, and I don't want to watch it anymore. I get if Jared was doing that, their family makes sense, but it's just like I don't like when players play against their own interests. It really bothers me. So for me, yeah, absolutely, I want Izzy to go.
Foster, do you have a preference on this vote tomorrow night and this eviction? Like who for the rest of the season? Which one of these players you would rather see go on, or whether it be Izzy or Felicia?
Yeah, I'd like to see Izzy go. Like she's like I haven't honestly like I haven't seen all the episodes, but I've seen enough to know to think that I'd rather see Felicia around for another couple weeks other than Lizzie for sure.
But yeah, like
I
because
just don't know how the votes are going to fall because it seems to me that it might come down to Sari's decision.
Well, and Felicia's also like fun in the DR. Izzy's kind of like this she's kind of like a petulant child, like, you know, in the DR. Like everything's like woe is me, and it's like I hate the world, and it's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you're playing a game show.
Well, she's talking about Cameron. Like he wants to put me down and belittle me, and I'm just gonna, you know, I'm just like, I think you have this persecution thing with him more than it exists, but okay, you know, I think that Suri, I think this is kind of Suri's decision, and I think Suri, without knowing anything about where the votes are lying, I think Suri would rather lose Felicia. I think Jared would probably feel the same way.
But that doesn't mean that's what's going to happen.
No, it doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. But if those two have any say in it, they'll be keeping around Izzy.
Well, how many people are voting in this? How many people are even in the house?
How many are in the house? Good question. Well, we've lost of the 17, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, right?
So there's 11 people in the house.
There's 11 people. 3 are, you know, can't vote.
So that's 8. So there's 8 votes.
So you can have a tie. There's possible.
So let's
they're aiming for 5. They're aiming for 5.
You need 5 to be evicted. Yeah.
So Jared, Suri are voting.
Let's say they were hypothetically. Let's say Jared and Suri are automatically going to vote to evict Felicia.
Yeah.
Who else would be a Felicia evict vote? Blue.
Probably because what Jared would probably tell her to vote Blue or vote her. Yeah, told Blue to vote her.
All right, that's 3.
And then maybe Matt.
Okay, that's 4. So you only need one more.
And then that would be Jag as well, because that was the one comment I forgot to make earlier. I thought it was really funny that Matt and Jag made an alliance, because that seems super insignificant. Because
it's insignificant if they don't do anything. Like, they could change this vote, for instance. They could make the Izzy go home here, and if they vote together with America, Corey, and Bowie Jane.
Yeah, but they won't, because they're like, Matt's so in deep with Suri, and Jag seems like he's attached to Matt now.
Yeah, they're the what are they now? Sorry, the Time Stoppers. The Minutemen.
The Minutemen's Time Stoppers.
Will Suri be going around saying vote Suri out, you think?
Vote Felicia out?
Felicia out, sorry, yeah. Will Suri be going around doing that?
No, she'll do what she's done all season.
I don't even think they really need to work that hard at this. I think that getting these votes against Felicia is going to be whatever. If that's what Suri and Jared want to do, I think that's the momentum of that is going to be too hard to stop, because like we haven't even gotten to like what Corey and America want. It doesn't even really matter, because it seems like they could get like at least 4 votes, and then they just need one more, right? So. It could be unanimous.
That all depends on what, like you're saying, Matt and Jag are attached to Suri and stuff, but that doesn't mean that they can't think for themselves and go, who's better for me to get rid of? You know, because Jag's smart. Jag's not a blind, loyal voter, you know? So maybe Matt is, but we don't really know that yet. You know, we haven't really seen what he's going to do. So maybe you're right. Maybe you're all right that it's Felicia's going home and that's just the way it is. But I hope not, because Izzy's annoying and Felicia's fun. She's fun on the show.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I agree. I'd rather have a Felicia as a TV character and a part of this cast. Although I don't think she's as smart of a player, obviously not as good at competitions. So I think in some ways Izzy is kind of a more interesting player, but the fact that she's so willing to fall on her sword for Suri at a moment's notice, I think is just not something I find compelling. I think it's more destructive to the season.
Oh, it's
because
awful.
Suri already has this crazy advantage, and that like she's already this returning player, not from Big Brother, but in just reality TV. She's got her son, and she has this like now loyal disciple.
It reminds me of Christmas in the Paul season.
Right.
You know,
this is much like the Paul season. Yeah.
Yeah. Where Christmas would do anything just to save Paul. And, you know, like, it was just like, why?
Right.
You know, like, what are you doing? Like, you're playing the game too.
It's for the team. It was because, well, Christmas was a big Scientologist, and that's kind of just how they got it. It's all about the
is she a
team.
I didn't know she was a
yeah.
Scientologist.
Oh, yeah. She grew up. She was like in like the Hitler Youth, you know, and all that, right? Like,
right.
So,
the L. Ron Hubbard Youth, you mean?
Right? Yeah, whatever. So anyway, let's get into our spoiler section. I know Jameel's just dying to tell us what the hell's actually going on.
Am I? Mhm.
Well, I think you are, right? If you don't want to know, get on out of here. We'll, but if you know, we're only gonna get a sense of where the votes might be lying now, which I think I kind of already
Especially
know.
in this house. In this house.
In this house, where flips can happen at a moment's notice, it could be anything. If you don't want to know, get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow night for the eviction. On that note, we'll play the spoiler warning.
You're not going to do it to Foster. Foster won't put his hands up.
All right, Jaemeel, give us the goods.
So, it seemed like it was a cut and dry week this week, with with seemingly there is votes to evict Felicia, and you know, it was Suri being very cut and dry. It wasn't like you know, we might keep Felicia. We might. I don't know where our votes are. She was very cut and dry with specific people saying, "I'm voting to keep Izzy," right? And you know, people were exerting their will. Cameron was trying really hard to convince other people to, you know, get Izzy out. And whenever Felicia would ask people what's going on, they said they're kind of undecided. People who said that they were going to vote for her for sure started to become very wishy-washy. So ultimately, I believe it was Tuesday, they were saying that, okay, Felicia said that if she's going home, she would like to know so she could enjoy her time at the very least. So they said that they were going to tell her after Wednesday dinner. Tonight's dinner and
Last Supper, if you will.
Last Supper. I don't think she was supposed to cook this week, so they didn't want to give her the impression that they were using her to eat first and then voting her out. But Cameron also went and sat Felicia down and told her that, you know, it looks like the votes aren't for you to stay, from what I get a sense of the house. And Felicia would go and start talking to people, and once again, they would be wishy-washy. Someone who is always trying from the get-go to keep Izzy to get rid of Izzy was America.
Yeah.
Right? America was very clear, says that she's going to vote to eliminate Izzy. And she was trying to get Corey, and Corey's like, I don't know. Bowie Jane, she didn't want to be on the wrong side of the votes. So she's like, if you can get the votes, I'll do it, but I don't want to be on the wrong side of the votes, right?
But they just need 4.
She doesn't want to be on the wrong side of the votes. Right. She wants to vote with the House because last week she was told so late. She wasn't told at all, right? And she doesn't want to be 2 weeks in a row on the wrong side of the House. McCall, same thing. She doesn't want to be on the wrong side of the House. Well,
okay, but when are they? When does the side of the House? Yeah.
Well, America.
Yeah.
Bowie Jane.
Corey.
McCall. Corey.
That's all you need.
And Jag.
You need Jag.
No, you don't. You don't need him, but that helps.
No, that just makes it tie. Well, yes, it makes it a tie, right?
Which Cameron would break. So
actually, there's 9 people voting.
There's 8 people voting.
There's 8 people voting.
They're talking about a 5-4.
Oh,
who are we missing?
Is there 12 people in the House?
Okay, Jared, Corey, Jag.
Yeah.
Oh, I counted. Did I count Jag as an evictee? Because,
there you go. There's 12 people in the House then.
Yeah, I did.
That would make more sense then. Okay.
So
you're right. There are 9 votes. So Cameron won't vote at all. So
and they're trying to convince Matt to jump on their side.
I think this is what they should be.
That's as of Wednesday day. So there's still time. Wednesday night, Thursday could change.
They should the Americas and the Jags and those players should be thinking, well, what does Suri want? and we should do the opposite. You know, really. I mean, because
They got to start going against her at some point.
Yes, she's gaining too much power.
Yeah.
You know,
Especially
it's
if she
not
keeps
even-
Izzy, it's more power. Like it's not as good for Cerie's game if Felicia stays. So they're
Yes.
compared to Izzy. So so therefore, yeah, they should absolutely want to do that.
Well-
but I don't think they have the guts.
Everyone has a different perspective as to which is more, the reason why they're doing what they're doing. For people going against Izzy, there's two things. One, Izzy's more dangerous in the long run, right? Even though, yes, Felicia's won an HOH, it was kind of like a, it was a flip a coin type of thing. Anyone could have won that, right? But going down the understanding of the game and having a good grasp on it, Izzy has it more than Felicia. At the same time, some people want Felicia to stay in the game because she is so goddamn sloppy in terms of spilling information and how she acts towards people. Cameron said it himself that the way Felicia is going, she's going to get herself evicted anyway, so it doesn't matter. Right? You just look at how she worked with Bowie Jane after that vote.
Yeah.
That is bad gameplay that will get you evicted the following week, right? For sure.
Well, this whole house is kind of sloppy, though, isn't it? Is there?
Which is great. Give me another sloppy Joe.
Yeah. You're like a sloppy
lady. You're
Okay. Competition for HOH. It looks like we're gonna see the wall, brother, because they've been doing construction in the backyard for a long time, and there's been a lot of even technically this one wasn't really physical. It's time for an endurance challenge. We haven't had one in a while.
Who would you guys pick in a wall comp? Foster, are you familiar with the wall comp?
That's the one where it tilts forward and you're just trying to hold back and just help. Yeah. So if my first guess would be honestly, I honestly think Corey, just because of his size. I think that he could potentially be a dark horse for that one.
Yep. I agree with that.
America.
I was gonna say America for a female.
Going to America today.
What about Nicole?
Maybe.
She's small and slight.
Yeah, she
right?
could. You just don't know what kind of fight she has in her to want to win it, right? Because she's been kind of low key the whole time, and I feel like that's been her whole gameplay is just to make it to the final 5 or 6, and then start to try to make an effort.
I just think with America, she could hold down a button for 16 hours. I mean, you could probably stay on a wall. You know what I mean?
I'm just it's not a bad decision from the McCalls to kind of play this middle ground where you're not really a target when Jag and Cameron are people are just salivating and trying to get them out. Because let's say the field is clear and they get rid of the Jags and the Jareds and the Camerons, and your competition is Felicia and Cerie and Izzy in a physical competition. It's you're gonna clean up. Right?
You should. Even in the mental stuff. I mean, for the most part, you should do okay.
Yeah.
Except against Izzy. Izzy be the only one.
Izzy can't win them all.
No, but she'd be the one that would scare me as far as a trivia something. So sure. If you get rid of Izzy here, I think down the road it's just better. Because she's just a bigger threat.
For sure, but I suspect Izzy will be staying after tomorrow night.
We'll see.
And if Izzy's the next HOH, I think that's maybe the most interesting thing that could happen next.
No, that's not interesting because we know Cameron's the target.
Oh yeah,
the best thing.
But then Cameron will win veto, and then she's gonna be like, "What do I do now?"
Right. I'd like to see that just to see what she would do, because who would she?
And then Cameron wins HOH the following week.
Yeah, and puts her up again.
Izzy would put up.
He would.
Bowie Jane. Sorry, but Bowie Jane would go on the block, and they're just gonna keep picking off the people that aren't in their little tight group. What we want to see happen is what Cameron tried to do this week, which was blow up that tight group.
Yeah, chaos. But again, it's he does the blind spot with Jared is where it falls apart.
Yeah. If he had put Jared up instead of Felicia, Izzy and Jared, that was the best two people to put up.
Right.
But
Izzy and
he still
Jared
hopes. He still hopes for.
Well, you would see Sari have a real like Sophie's choice here between Jared and Izzy. I think she might hold on to Izzy and push.
No, she would keep Jared. That's
I know.
You put Jared and Blue up.
No, but imagine if Jared was sitting next to Izzy. What that would.
Well, then he would have taken himself down off the block, say, right, and then Cameron would have had all the power to put up Izzy. I mean, to put up Sari.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, it didn't. It couldn't happen because Jared got the veto. Anyway, but okay, we'll be back tomorrow night. Talk about I guess what will be episode 20 of this show, the week 6.
Did it count as episode 18 and 19?
No, I guess it will be 19. So
Okay.
it'll be 19 tomorrow night of Big Brother 25. I also have to. I'll be coming off of the Star Trek Lower Decks podcast. I'll be doing before that. So Foster, are you able to join us for the eviction episode?
Sorry, Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
I knew the answer.
I thought football is on Sundays.
It's on Thursday too.
Thursday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
And Monday?
Well, I'm looking. Oh, I'm just checking. Let me one
Monday
second. Who's playing tomorrow night? Oh, yeah. It's kind of a.
You need to go to Wisconsin, dude. Wisconsin. Did you hear what happened to Wisconsin?
Yeah,
I know it's a side.
It was
What's
free
that?
drinks, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
free
yeah,
drinks.
yeah. For the
If-
game, and yeah. And then
If they
the Jets
lost,
ended up
and then the
winning,
Jets
and
won, yeah, so everyone
yeah,
owed a
yeah.
ton of money to the bar.
Yeah, that's great.
I saw that, and then everyone had to pay, and it was like a huge, like everyone racked up huge tabs, so they made a killing or something.
Yeah, it was great.
They got bailed out. They got bailed. I didn't see that rest. I didn't see that whole game, but I know it was a buzzer beater, right? Basically, right? And
punt
it was
return win.
like, punt return touchdown, last play of the game, kind of thing, right? So it was
Great.
Yeah.
It was so heartbreaking.
All right. Well,
I think Toronto Bars should do that with the Maple Leafs in the playoffs.
Yeah.
sure. It wouldn't be that much of a risk.
Yeah,
So,
it would be no risk, especially in game sevens.
Yeah. So anyway, watch out here on the channel tomorrow night for our eviction coverage. As well, in the near future, we're going to be covering Survivor, guys. Season 45 coming up. We already have started to draft, and I don't know if you guys have looked ahead to this, but Jeff has the last pick. But Jaemeel, you will be up next.
Jaemeel, make your pick. Jeez.
I'm sorry, I have to do research.
Oh
you know,
my goodness! All you have to
if
know
we-
is their
if-
name, their age, and their occupation. Simple as that.
Right, and maybe a pick.
is that how you drafted?
Yes, sir. That's how I won Big Brother Canada.
No, I mean for your draft for NFL.
Oh no, I
Right.
yeah, but I don't think that there's like draft podcasts for this stuff, Jaemeel, unless like
You don't think so?
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yes, there is. We usually do a discussion about the cast
You
before
do
the
a
episode
discussion.
airs.
You do a discussion about.
We
Okay.
try to, yeah. Here's looking ahead at this cast. Oh my, go away, Ad. Here we go. It looks like a good group.
It's a youthful cast.
Very youthful, not very youthful.
So okay, I have to pick the person who's going to get kicked off early in the show.
Bruce.
Just based on this, what about Bruce, the guy who smashed his head? Do you want him?
No, he's going to last longer, unfortunately.
He'll last longer than 5 minutes.
Yes.
He'll make it to 10. I'm going to say off the bat, this guy with the purple shirt. He's my pick. I don't know who he is, but
You mean the Aussie wannabe?
the Aussie
The
wannabe.
dime store Aussie?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who this is. His name is Brandon, not to be confused with Brando. So that's who Jane already took him. I can't even pick this guy.
There you go. Dime store Aussie.
Discount.
All right. Discount. I think.
Discount.
Oh, or I thought he was more like Jam, maybe. So anyway, all right. Well, guys, look ahead for that in the near future. Survivor 45, and our Marvel coverage here on the channel, Super Mario Bros. Podcast. We talk about Big Brother Canada too, and some other shows. Look in all our playlists. We're part of United Federation of Podcasts, which features all kinds of great shows and different podcasts on a whole bunch of topics like Star Trek under Live Long and Podcasts. Live Long and Podcast, trivial debates, and our debate show. Eamon on Track, a music album review show. Hellbound, which covers horror, and X-Rated, the horror, and X-Rated, which talks about X-Men the Animated review show, we talked about the X-Men the Animated series, and Hold Up a Movie podcast with Davan and Murphy, and Graphic Histories with André and Myette. So all kinds of great shows. You can check out our website.
I'll appear on Graphic Histories if Live Long and Podcast gets to 500 likes, 500 likes.
We're up to 400 subscribers. We're up to 400 and something now.
So 100 more, and I'll appear on the Graphic Histories.
All right. Well, Andre doesn't have much incentive, but he
600, and I'll appear on Eamon on Track.
Yeah, 600. Oh wow, big, hard to get on there.
Stretch goals. That's what we call stretch goals.
Right. Wow. Okay. Well, anyway, thanks for being with us tonight. And guys, what do you want as an ending clip? Would you rather see the Cameron's multi-step plan or the Duhamel prize? They're both the same length.
Oh no! So it's a Sophie's choice.
Duhamels.
All right, we're going to Duhamel. See you next time, everybody.
You've just won the greatest prize of all. You get to become the Demelamaniac. You'll be wearing Josh-approved attire and get to hang out with me all week, taking selfies galore.
Oh my God!
I get to hang out with Josh for a whole week. I'm thrilled. I think hanging out with my bro Josh would be way better than $5,000, an European trip, or even the Vita.
Can we shoot Transformers together or something?
Sure.
Matt, you do realize you're not actually going to be hanging out with Josh Duhamel, right? Clearly this is going to be some type of punishment.